Perfect.
We are recording. We are hot. We are live. What's going on, everybody? It's Jorge Aquino coming to you live and direct. It's Tormenting Tarmac podcast where the enthusiast never dies. I wish I would have recorded the last 5 minutes that we've been doing because they were actually sensational bloopers. But you know what? Sometimes the good stuff just doesn't make it all the way on air, and that's okay. Kolbi Napier, hey, been out with me all the way from Miami. Say hello to the people, Kolbi.
Hey. Hello, what's going on, people? Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
for
having me
joining.
back.
Oh, of course, anytime, my friend. It's great to see you rocking the cowgirl hat.
Thank you,
Right,
thank
very
you.
stylish this evening.
Feeling my inner Miami.
For sure. Yeah, I was like gonna say you were literally hanging out doing some like crazy cool car stuff right before you hopped on the pod with me tonight. You literally ate dinner and hopped on. I had to eat
I
dinner and then hopped on. It's crazy.
had to eat.
Um, Basically we're just playing catch up. We when was the last time we hung out? January? Yeah, January.
Thing?
Colby was out here in the PHX out here in Bird City. Um we got lost. Well, she got lost at Westworld. It took me 35 minutes to find her. We'll get into that story later today. Um, that was
I blame security guard on that
hysterical.
one.
Literally. Um,
We'll get into
I
it.
entirely blame that person. It's just an
Right?
idiot, to be quite honest with you. But this is one of those times where having a cool media pass really comes through in the clutch, guys.
Right?
Uh-huh. That all being said, real quick, let me get some social media plugs out of the way before I forget them. First of all, you can go ahead and find Tormenting Tarmac on Instagram at Tormenting Tarmac. You can go ahead and find us streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other rest of the streaming services. Tormenting Tarmac is where you can go ahead and find us. Kolbi is at the Kolbe on Instagram, and of course, she runs No Shoot Film. And That's it for now. Although I have been trying to tell Colby to go ahead and do more. I told her to go ahead and really get into like video making. And then she was like, Jorge, that sounds cool, but I'm too scared. But maybe I can convince her tonight on the podcast. Maybe that
Maybe.
we add that in. But homie, how are you?
I'm doing good. I can't
Yeah.
complain. So life has been just getting in the routine. So we moved down to Miami about mid-February.
Yep.
So it's a new home base. It feels good. It's originally Florida is home for me, so it's nice to be back on the East Coast. Don't get me wrong, I do miss my SoCal peeps and being out west, but it's nice to have like a routine out here and it feels home. It's nice to be back. So
For sure.
yeah.
What's the biggest difference between the West Coast and East Coast, Colby, now that you've gone ahead and done both coasts?
Let's see. California, I mean, don't get me wrong, Florida's getting packed because everybody from California or New York is coming here, even Texas some days.
Mhm.
Um, but California, I mean, it's a positive, but it's also a negative for me. It was negative as in being 3 hours difference for my family, as being a big family person. It was kind of getting a little rough. Just seeing them maybe a couple times a year. I couldn't make it out for like Christmas and Thanksgiving at one point. Like that was tough on me. So it's nice to be back to be around them. Big difference as in the States. I don't know, I never really felt like adjusted. It didn't really feel like home to me. It felt like a extra long work vacation. That is the best way for me to put it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it was so interesting because I remember when you were on the pod back in November and we were having this great conversation. Like literally, Colby was podcasting from a bathroom at a hotel. It was quite
Yeah,
hysterical.
it was. Honestly,
Not to
man,
call
looking
you out,
back
but
now.
literally, you did mention it. You were in the bathroom of the
I
hotel. It was kind of
was. I was
hysterical.
sitting on the counter, like, let's do the podcast. Let's go.
Yep, it was great. And then there was a
Living
dog
on the
hanging out with
road.
you. Johnny was over. I think he was sleeping somewhere
He
in
was sleeping.
in the hotel room. Johnny's sleeping right now, of course. So shout out to Johnny. Um,
Right. Oh
um,
my
and
gosh.
and I just remember like you saying, like you just wanted to kind of take everything that you learned in Southern California for that year and a half that you were there and be able to bring it down to Florida. But you could
Mhm.
tell that in your eyes and in the way that you were speaking about it, it was more than that. It was just the fact that, the West Coast is so different from the East Coast, and the East Coast is so different from the
Yes.
West Coast. Me being a West
Mhm.
Coast guy,
Mhm.
um, I would find it hard to be able to go ahead and get accustomed to the East Coast. And I can
A
only
hundred
assume
percent.
the other way around. I mean,
Mhm.
we're over here doing a podcast tonight. I mean, it's 10:51
Full time difference.
Pacific time. It's 10:51 over in Miami. Like,
I'm a night owl though.
yeah, but
Perfect, you know?
Colby's a night owl, so this absolutely works out. My wife was asking me, she's like, do they not do they not work in the morning? And I'm like, I mean, I'm not
To a
entirely like,
degree.
kind of, they
Yeah,
do.
kind of.
And then my wife, she's like, oh yeah, but they don't have any kids, so it's fine. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a major part of that, exactly.
I'm
um
actually
Literally. And so but I could tell when you brought up to the idea to me, because
Mhm.
I knew about this like well in advance. You were kind enough to go ahead and kind of clue me in on stuff of like, hey man, I'm changing my life around a little bit. And it's like, whoa, that's crazy. And so here you are, and I could tell immediately that you just seem not more invested, because I think you were very invested where you were in Southern California, but just more motivated. And you just love the fact that you are home, that
Mhm.
your mom, literally, your mom is like what, two and
They're
a
about
half
four
hours
hours
away,
away.
or four
Yeah,
hours, excuse me.
4. It depends on traffic, you know.
Depends on how Colby drives. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Depends if for
And
racing or
so,
for cruising.
yeah, exactly. It depends on whether or not the SLK could actually get up to a speed. Speaking of which, we'll go
Right.
ahead and get into that in a little bit.
Exactly.
So it's just it, but I like the fact that you just seem in a better place mentally and emotionally from a health standpoint, and that's really important. Car
It
culture can
really
go ahead
is.
and be all types of things, but if you're not surrounded by the people that you want to be surrounded with,
Mm.
car culture doesn't fucking matter.
At the end of the day, that's kind of what it came down to, where it's like mentally, it was kind of destroying me out in California. And it's like, I'm not going to try to really show that to people. Sorry. I don't really put my emotions out there like that either.
Mhm.
But no, California, there was definitely some rough patches. And I mean, I feel like everybody goes through it, but it's also one of those things, unless you have that job that's like, you're clearing 100, or you're clearing 6 figures, or and that's maybe scraping by out there to just
I
have
was
like
gonna
a
say,
normal wage.
I think clearing six figures in Los Angeles, or basically most of California, is probably like
Yeah,
a medium base salary.
yeah,
In all honesty,
exactly.
which is
No,
wild
100%.
to
I
think,
mean,
because
you're
what you
on
can
the
make
dot
in
with that.
100K here, yeah,
Yeah. And then where it's like, at least coming back to Florida, it's like, a lot of people are like, yeah, Miami is still expensive, and it is. Don't get me wrong. But I'd rather spend the money, or what we were spending in Huntington Beach, basically a block from the water, and having homeless people living under our stairs, and like this whole kind of a headache and a mess, and like that's kind of just like scary too. Like I'm
for
sorry
sure.
it is. But coming to where we're at down here, and it's like it's a clean area. It's there's also different neighborhoods around here.
Mhm.
um so you don't really see the homeless population. They kind of stay in their own area. Don't get me wrong, there is some down here, but for what we're paying is significantly cheaper, and we're basically on the water, and we have a parking garage. We're not squeezing, it makes more sense. I can actually sit and go through my mind and be like, okay, is Colby like actually happy? Is she motivating? Is she making a change for herself? I feel like I have been blossoming, which is great. And
You're not
California,
the
I
only
think I
person
did
who
for
realizes
a little
that,
bit. No, thank you. But yeah, no, I think like I did for a little bit in California, but I just got driven to this point where it's like, it's a lot of, and don't get me wrong, there's fake people here too, but there was a lot of like, people fake the financials, and they fake this, or, it's their parents' money. And again, nothing wrong with it, but
Mhm.
it's like, how true are some of these people? And, I have friends, but like it wasn't really like a one-on-one connection with everybody. So some people, maybe like a handful, but nothing. I don't know. It was a little difficult for me. So especially towards the end, it got pretty rough. So a lot of people's like true colors showed, and that's a big, that means a lot to me. So
I I
if the
completely
knife comes
understand.
out, if the knife comes out and stabs you in the back, it's like that's a good eye opener. That's a good wake up call. And I'm,
Yeah.
fortunate enough to have it when it happened. So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Like, it's a wake up call, or, in some instances, oh wait, I'm actually dead.
Mm,
And so it's
right.
it's literally true, and it's a really tough thing to go ahead and have to handle. I think California, just the bigger cities in general, are very tough
Mhm.
places to go ahead and have to deal with, in particular for people who come from a smaller town. Not saying that Orlando is small by any way,
Sure.
shape, or form, but you know, Mickey Mouse's backyard isn't quite the same as what Miami or Los Angeles or New
Absolutely.
York City or
Yeah.
Chicago is. And I think what Phoenix is becoming as a whole, I think, but even then, I still think that I think there's still not a small town vibe mentality here in Phoenix. I don't think that that's the case. I think people get it. It's a big, but it's still not Los Angeles. It's still
Like
not the
local.
hustle and bustle like that. It's still more
Yeah,
localized. I don't know what it is. Maybe
for
I'm
sure.
wrong and
Yeah, I was
whatnot.
gonna say it's more, I feel like more locals are there that have been there for like a generational time, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Or the
If that makes
transplants
sense,
that
like
are
where they've
here.
been, like the families
Mhm.
have been there for a couple. Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot more like generational, like the family has been there for, a little bit longer. I could be wrong. I really don't know Phoenix that well, but you
No,
know.
but you're not wrong.
But,
That's actually very accurate. I would go ahead and say. I
okay.
think that because Phoenix is such a big transplant city and whatnot, we have a lot
Hmm.
of Midwest people. We got a lot of East Coast people,
For
but
sure.
those people that have been here for that here, they've been here for like 3 decades plus. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I know so
exactly.
many people who transplanted from either Chicago or from Ohio, or I should say Illinois or Ohio or
Yeah.
Michigan or Minnesota or Indiana.
Hmm.
And it's not like a recent thing. It's not a recent development. They've been here, like they went to high school here, or
Yeah.
they
They came when
came
they
in
were
their
younger.
20s. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then and are now like in their 50s or their 60s and things of that
Okay.
nature and whatnot. So it's
Yeah.
just like it's slightly different. Whereas people
Mhm.
come to Miami and this is literally they've only been there for 6 months.
100%.
Los Angeles, where they, in your case, you literally
Mhm.
were there for a little over a year and think, or
Yeah.
you got other people who moved to Los Angeles. I mean, the first podcast you and I ever did, you literally told me you
Mhm.
went to the West Coast once,
Mhm.
and then decided
And I
I'm
moved.
going to move there. And I was
Yeah.
like, that is a wild thing to do,
Yeah.
you know?
Took
But
me one time and I was like, huh, we'll try it out.
we'll
This sounds
try it out. But you
interesting.
know what? That's
Yeah.
why, that's what I think that's what makes you you. And I think, you're not scared of taking the leaps of faith as it's been very well proven, obviously, that you are
Mhm.
that person that eyeballs the challenge and doesn't necessarily think of it too big. You think about how you can go ahead and make it your own. And I think
Mhm.
that that's something that is a lost quality in a lot of human beings and whatnot. So I think that's what makes you you.
Yeah.
And you talked about earlier, like you're kind of reblossoming and whatnot. Like one of the
Mhm.
things that you have been doing, and I don't want to blow up your spot, so tell me when to stop, but I'm going to keep going until you
You're
say,
good. You're
Jorge, I'm not
good.
sure. But like you've kind of like gotten more like back into your art, into your own into
Mhm.
your own artistries. Everybody that knows Colby, they see you and then they think, oh, either her shooting film and her photography and whatnot, or if you go to Cold Bay and she's got this like cool lifestyle vibe that she does, which is fantastic and
Thank
like
you.
so
Oh.
elegant and whatnot. But now, like, you used to paint
Mhm.
yourself, and here you are kind of like getting back into it just because for the love
Yeah.
of it, and you found this
Why not?
remotivation. Like, what was that
Yeah.
all about? Like, where did, like, what do you think it was?
So, I mean, I've always been kind of artistic growing up. And it's just, I go doodle or, I had horses, country girl growing up. So I'd always be
Coastal
painting some
cowgirl,
type of
yo.
animal. Yeah, right. Here we go. Got the hat. But, so, whether it was like drawing or painting the horses or, I actually never really tried cars until, nowadays.
Hmm.
Dragons or, just some weird whatever animal it was,
Did
unicorns
you
or
say
something mythical.
dragons? Did I hear you say
Yeah.
dragons?
Yeah. Dragons, like unicorns, like all the mythical stuff, like, doing stuff, landscapes, like, I don't know. It was always fun kind of growing up. And then
Right.
I stopped for a little bit. And then I actually remember it was probably about 2017, 18. I didn't know what to get a person I was with at the time. I didn't know what to get him as a gift. So I ended up making a painting for him. And so I kind of like started to do that for like the people I care about. I was like, oh, for me, that seems like it's more personable and like more like, hey, I took my time and love and I put into it, and I would
Yeah.
gift them these paintings. So it's like I would have whenever I had time, I'd do it on site or whenever I knew their birthday or anniversary or whatever it was coming up. And then I started when I lived in Boca. I had lived there for about 2 years, and I had also kind of was dabbling in the painting. I had this cool like big wooden easel, which I still have, and I love that thing. But I kind of messed around with painting, and that's when I kind of started kind of painting cars a little bit. I started to paint my friend's S550, and I don't even think I even finished it. I think it's up in my parents' house right now, but and then I started working on a GT3 by Aaron Baum. I'm gonna butcher his name. Oh, he takes really cool photography photos. He's got some cool shots on there.
Mhm.
I'm gonna butcher his last name though. Anyway, so one of his photos, I kind of went off of that and started painting a GT3, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I think I'm nailing it. Like, finish that, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I kind of kept the car thing going, and moving back, well, I guess moving out to California, I did bring some paintings with me, but I was, I was working two jobs at the time for a little bit, and then, before I really switched over to media full time. And then I had been, what else? Just kind of moving. I'd, be at a place for 6 months, and then, then was another place for 6 months, and then we were on the road. So my stuff was in a storage unit, and it's just like I never had the time or the peace and quiet to sit and paint. It's kind of like a therapy in a way for me, I can sit and be with myself and my thoughts. Um, just kind of let the creative mind flow. And then once I moved down to Miami, I was like, you know what? I have time to paint now. Like I have my job, everything's going well. And now, I'm painting and I can chill and actually like kind of go off of some stuff. So, Moto Miami, I shot film all weekend under like a media pass for them. And I got this really cool shot, or I think it's really cool, but I got this really cool
I
shot
can
of
attest to this. It's a cool shot.
okay, I was like, I think it's
I
pretty cool.
wouldn't have shared it on TT if it wasn't a
Yeah,
cool shot, ladies and
thank
gentlemen.
you.
Which, by the way, you can find this shot that she's about to describe on both Tormenting Tarmac and is it your page or is it No Shoot? It's on
It's
No
on No
Shoot,
Shoot.
right?
I think it's
Yeah,
on No Shoot, but I don't think I have it posted on my personal, like on the Kolbe yet, just because I am painting it right now too.
yeah.
So I want to do a before and after of the film photo and then the painting of it. Just 'cause, I don't know, just something fun and different for me.
Hence the
So
reason why Colby chose to not collaborate with me on that post,
I'm
which she told me
sorry.
out the other day.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I was
just
like, oh
kidding.
yeah, I gotta
I,
wait.
I had to call you out on that because I thought
No,
that
and
was
you're good. You
hysterical. It
have
was.
all the rights to. But yeah, it's a cool shot of the behind the end of the Pagani Imola Roadster. I couldn't tell you honestly the correct color for it, but it's like a light blue color with some gold accents. And it's got the Biltmore in the background. So I've been working on that, and then I've just kind of been painting some other side, little side projects, just kind of getting back in the flow of things. But yeah, it's more of like a therapeutic thing. And I mean, if people like it, want to buy it, hey, by all means, let's work. Like we'll get it together.
Yeah, for sure. Do you
Yeah.
feel that Miami, even though it's like a hustle and bustle type city, do you find it more of a calming vibe in general than Los
Yeah.
Angeles or just all
Yeah.
of the greater Los Angeles area?
No, 100%.
It's so
100%.
interesting.
I mean, where I'm at, I'm thankful because, like, don't get me wrong, it is still like pretty much downtown Miami, but
Mhm,
I am able to like, I mean, what time is it? It's like 10 something, 10:30.
mhm,
I can't hear any of the cars. Like, it's quiet. Most of the places close at like 11, 10, 11.
mhm.
So like it's quiet. If you want to go out and have drinks or party or whatever, you want to do, it's a 5 to 10 minute Uber. It's a very quiet area for being Miami, which is thank God. But from the chaos that I had in LA or well in Orange County, but from the chaos there, I was like, I need a quiet area. I was like, that's it. So this has been the perfect spot for me so far. Actually, I could see myself here for at least a good 5 years, maybe longer. So
Wow, that's a long time.
yeah,
That's a really long
yeah.
time.
So
Yeah,
hmm
that's. I mean, dude, as long as you're happy, that's really all that matters. And
hmm
I'm so, and I, it stinks that you went ahead and moved 2,500 miles back east and whatnot.
I'll be
But
back.
literally, you are supposed to be back next week. I'm not sure we're
Be
going to
back
be able to
next week.
go ahead
Yeah,
and like link up
I
because
need to
of
book my ticket, but yeah, I'm supposed to be
yeah,
back next
literally,
week.
Colby's supposed to be out here next week. She doesn't even know she's actually going to be here next week, even though she's supposed to be out here next week.
I'm
That is
supposed to be out there
wild.
next week, so yeah. We'll get around to it, but I will be there.
If your best friend actually ends up listening to this podcast, she's gonna be like, "Dog, you didn't. When did you book your
She's like,
flight?" And be like, "Might have."
no, she called me there at night too, and she was like, "You booked your tickets, right?" And I was like, "Not yet, but I'm
Sure.
on it." Yeah, yeah, right. Actually,
Yeah,
sure, yeah, we'll get
I'll
there.
be there. Be there.
Yeah, don't worry about how I get there. I'll be
I'll
there.
be there. That's hilarious. So real quick, I because I love this story, because it made me laugh because it was just an amazing day. So speaking of Colby being out in Arizona, Colby was actually out in Scottsdale in January. Her and Johnny made the drive as part of their 700 round trips from Florida to California and back. For Barrett Jackson, they just so happened to go ahead and stop here. And Colby had kind of made me aware that she was going to try and do. Actually, you mentioned it last pod. You were like,
Mhm.
"Oh," I was like, "Are you going to be out for Barrett?" And you're like, "Maybe. I don't know.
Good
Maybe."
try.
It's like a full on real 50-50. If
I
I'm
know.
there, I'm there. And if I'm not, well, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Um, and I think you went ahead and told me, well, like 2 days in advance, maybe that you were going to go ahead and be possibly passing through. And I was like, "Oh my God, yes."
Yeah.
We were so hyped. And you tell me day before, or was it day? No, actually, it may have been day of. You literally, you're like, I think it was day
I
of. You
just got
texted
in
me.
there. Like
Yeah,
I think we're in Tucson, and I was like, "Oh yeah, hey, just a
yeah.
heads up, we're passing by."
Shout out to Tucson, my hometown. I love it so much, the old Pueblo. Um, but yeah, you text me, and I'm like, oh great. And so I'm hanging out with my boy Alex. Shout out to Topless Targa. And I
Hmm.
was like, hey man, Colby's in town. It's like we should do a shoot with her. Here I am offering up his car. Which he was like, yeah,
Hey,
that's
that
that's
was a
fine.
great shoot.
It was a great shoot. we,
That was a
we had
great shoot. That
so
was
much
such a
fun.
fun evening too.
Yeah. And so Alex and I, we hit up the RM Sotheby's that morning,
Hmm.
which gave you and Johnny plenty of time to be able to go ahead and make it up to Scottsdale and meet us
100%.
and whatnot. And so I think Alex and I finish up at the Biltmore at RM Sotheby's, and we drive back, and you're like, "Hey, dude, so I'm at Barrett," and I'm like, "Okay, cool. So then why don't we go get you?" And you were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, okay, that's great."
that's cool.
And
Yeah.
and so before we even get to Colby, Alex and I are trying to go ahead and figure out what we're gonna do. It's like, are we gonna take the Targa, or are we gonna go ahead and take the Macan to go pick up Colby to then come back? And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, Alex. Like it's your call. They're your cars,
You tell
bro.
me,
What
yeah.
do you want to do? Like my car is available. I low key listen. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I low key think Alex just did not want to roll in the Sorrento, which I do not blame him whatsoever. Uh, I
Oh my
wouldn't have
God.
wanted to roll around in the Sorrento either, to be quite honest with you. And so we finally decide, okay, we're gonna go ahead and take the Macan and let's go pick up Colby over at Westworld. So we do. We drive over, and God bless Colby. It's
I'm sorry about this.
okay
Well,
because it was hilarious. Go ahead.
the whole thing that just gets under my skin, and this guy seen me, like the same security guard is the one that let me in when we were there for like we had to go prior to be
Right.
there with a client and
Uh-huh.
do some work there. And the same guy, because I didn't I didn't have the pass on me. We gave it back to one of his friends or clients and stuff. And that security guard would not let me in. And he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to walk all the way around." And I'm like, "I don't know where I'm at for one."
Yep.
And where I'm looking on the map, I was like, "I don't know if this is walking distance." He's like, "Yeah, no, not really." Like he was just so adamant about not letting me in and trying to make me walk. And I was like, "No, no." It's
The
like my
funny thing
friend said
was you
you
were
gotta be
in.
here.
Like you
Yeah,
were in. So he
I
just
was in already.
yeah.
I should have just stayed in, but we had to go because Johnny and his friend, they were like, "Yeah, okay, you guys go, do your shoot, go have fun, we're gonna go do another auction or something." Or I think the Sotheby's, or they went over there. And I was like getting ready to walk back in, and the security guard was like, and I was like, "Sir, what?" Excuse me? I was like, I mean, he was great at his job, don't get me wrong, he did his job, but I was like, "Sir, you
He
just
did
see
his
me walk
job.
out."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It was wild. So Alex and I pull up, And so I'm texting with Colby and I'm like, hey, so where are you? And literally, oh man, I wish I had the text messages on me.
I know.
But like Colby was like, bro, I don't know. Like and so she
I was like,
FaceTimes me. And like I get on FaceTime and I'm trying to figure out where she's at. And I'm like, and for anybody who's been out to Westworld, which I think most of the people who are listening to this podcast have all been out to Westworld for Barrett Jackson at some point or another. It is very big. It's very
yeah.
spread out, and nearly everything looks exactly the freaking same.
And I
And
wasn't expecting that.
exactly, and Colby had no idea what to expect. She's just like, you put a coastal cowgirl in the middle of Arizona, and she's not, she ain't never
I'm
been here
trying.
before. She's
No, I'm
trying,
trying, man.
and it's just it ain't clicking. And so I tell Alex, I'm like, yo, Alex, will you go ahead and just like hang on right here and like let me just go get her real quick? I'm sure it's only gonna take me like 5 minutes. Literally, those were my words. It's gonna take me like 5 minutes.
45 minutes later.
40, it took me 45 minutes to be able to find Colby Collette Napier in Westworld.
Oh my
On
god.
FaceTime, mind you, there's crappy reception, so we kept on losing the video feed every once in a while.
Yeah.
And so
My
we
phone was about to die
oh
too.
my god, your phone was like on the
My
verge of
phone was like,
dying. You had like
yeah,
5%
it was
left. I
like
forgot
on
about that.
12% or something.
Yeah, it was
And it's like,
wild.
when it fluctuates too. So I was like, I don't know if it's gonna die now. I don't know if I actually got some juice in it. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know what's gonna happen.
it was so I don't know, by the grace of God, I finally kind of like it clicked of like, okay, I've gone to like three different sections. None of these places is where she's at. Like, I need to find her because if not, like, okay, fine, I can get back in the car with Alex, but then like she's by herself. Her boyfriend left. I don't know when he's gonna be back. Like, Colby's not
My
being
phone's
let back
dying.
into the building. Like, and she's gonna have a dead phone. Like, somebody's got to go find her. Like, we're screwed
Thank
here.
you.
Colby's
You're such a
legit
homie for
screwed.
that.
It's like we got to get her out of here because if not, she's done. And so I finally like, I finally walk up to the location and Colby like sees me. She's like, "Bro," I'm like,
Here.
"Yo."
Oh.
And I was like, it was like when you hit a walk off home run, we like
Yeah.
started jumping like idiots because
Oh yeah.
it literally
If
was
I
a
had a
full on
hat, I'd be
adventure.
throwing it,
I
like
just tossing it up in the air, man. And like the security guard is like standing right next to us, and I'm like, "Hey, my man, like I've got my media pass. Like she's with me. Is that like we're just gonna go ahead and leave?" And he's like, "Oh, okay, then yeah, she's good to go."
okay.
I'm like,
I'm like, uh,
"She's been
sir.
here for 45 minutes, bro."
And I even told him that like it was like media and like I had a client, clients pass and stuff to, like where did
Everything.
this where did this not like connect here?
My God.
Oh my man.
What was funny is like, and I remember, and Colby said these words multiple times, which made me laugh hysterically. And we prefaced this by saying Colby and Johnny had been driving from Florida
Yeah.
to Phoenix nonstop for the past like 2 days, and had
Suicide
barely,
man.
literally, you had zero sleep, right?
Clearly. Yeah.
And you didn't even drive the truck because you didn't want to go ahead and haul the
Trailer.
trailer. So
Mm-hmm.
Johnny's been driving for like 2 days straight. Again, shout out to Johnny because he's such a beast. Um, and so like Colby's like, "Hey, dude, listen, I may or may not look like a meth head right now because I'm so."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, "That's such a
We
great
had like
description."
I think I didn't bring like a big bag of anything because we were just on a turn and burn run of
This
just
was
getting
the
stuff
Phoenix
out.
thing wasn't supposed to
Yeah.
happen.
That wasn't
Yeah,
supposed to happen. We just were kind of like, all right, like we're here. And I think we stopped and got Waffle House like in Tucson or like just somewhere outskirts or something, right?
yeah,
We got some food and we're just like, yeah, we could maybe stretch our legs for a little bit. That wouldn't hurt, I was like, yeah, I was like, I could go shoot. Like this would be fun, see some
right.
homies, hang out. And then we stayed the night and we like, oh my god, that was like the best sleep ever too. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you the hotel we stayed at. Like I really don't
I
remember,
mean,
but
I
like,
know where it was, but I'm not gonna go ahead and blow up your
no,
spot.
don't say yeah, don't say
Yeah,
it, don't say it. But
I mean,
like
it's
the
also
bed
been
was
like
actually
5 months, but it doesn't matter. Yeah,
the bed was so comfortable though,
I'm
and I was
sure
like, I knocked out and
anything is
like,
more
oh my
comfortable than
god,
the backseat
best
of an
sleep.
F-350.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean that
Knocked
respect, and
out.
that's a nice truck too. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it was packed full though, and we were just like turn and burn. And I mean, yeah, we left for California again that morning, and it was just nonstop
Literally,
once
because
again.
we were
Yeah.
gonna try and hang out one more time before you guys
Yeah.
left. Like we were gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and
And he
try
was
and
like,
hit.
nope, we gotta go. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, we're going.
No, so we I finally found Colby and we get back to
Hmm.
Alex's car and Alex is like, dude, you said five
I
minutes.
know.
It's like,
All right,
bro,
Alex.
we couldn't find
We
anything.
can fight each other.
Like I couldn't find her. They wouldn't let her in. Like it was
No.
ridiculous. And so
Shout out
we
to Alex.
shout out Alex for just being such a patient. And you know what? Again, I know he listens when he can and whatnot. If he listens to this, bro, congratulations on your engagement. Love you. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mazel tov. Um,
Congratulations.
and so we get to the Macan, and then we go back to his apartment to pick up the Targa. And we
Hmm.
get back over there and whatnot. And so we Alex has an idea of where he wants to shoot because Colby was like, I want to go somewhere where it's like desert, mountainy. I haven't shot that yet because the
Cactus.
lot
Just
cactus.
Porsches.
Exactly, because the last time you
Like,
were here when you shot
mhm.
the LFA with Cody, shout out to Cody,
Yeah, with Cody. Hmm.
Tyler's.
Yeah.
You guys didn't have that landscape. You guys just used
No,
more of the Scottsdale like
that was
in
like
just
we were at Echelon.
yeah. Shout out to Echelon. Mhm.
Okay, I was like Echelon. We were over there, and he was like, "Yeah, swing by for a moment, like if you're able to." We're right down the street for them, and this is like the trip before, and we had a layover. So we had drove out to we got a rental car from California and drove out to Phoenix,
Yep.
and so we had a layover. And we are just going to take the rental car to the airport, and I was like, "We have like 5 minutes to shoot real quick, and then we have to book it to the airport." Which I'm glad we did because we almost like we were very close to our flight,
Well,
missing our
okay.
flight. But
Well, Echelon
yeah,
is in Scottsdale, and you're having to go ahead and get out to Sky Harbor. That's not
yeah,
close.
no, it
It's
was.
not close.
I thought it was
That's a
like I thought it was. I don't know the area, you
no.
know.
It's not. That's
No, it's
wild,
not.
dude. It's like
And like
25 minutes away.
we had to go like all the way up and like it took us so far too for the rental car place, and then we had to take the trolley to the airport and like the whole you know you guys get it.
Was the rental car location at least at Sky Harbor or no?
I couldn't tell you.
Like,
I couldn't tell you.
oh my gosh,
I was
that
like, it was
is
just I know
you're an
it was like
adventurous soul because
three
that's
lights
wild.
past or four lights past. Like it was kind of far, and we were like, okay, we have to take the trolley back to the airport, which was fine, you know. But it was like we are cutting it by some cheek hairs. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
these whiskers that I have on my hair, it
yeah,
was shorter than that. Yeah. That's
right, exactly.
hilarious. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
But
so
yeah.
anyways, we find
Mhm.
like Alex has an idea of where he wants to go ahead and get the car shot and whatever. And so Alex is like, "Hey, Colby, do you want to go ahead and ride with Jorge or do you want to ride with me?" And Colby looks at me, she's like,
Targa.
"Homie, I love you, but I'm gonna
It's
take
like
the
I'm going to
Targa." I was like,
Targa.
"Why would you even like think about that? Like, I would have told you don't roll with me. Roll with me,
I rode
whatever."
with you on the way back, you know?
Because you didn't have a ride, but
I
yes,
know. I would have been walking back.
would have been walking back. Alex, whatever. And so we
Uh,
decide we're driving over there and we found this like really cool location and we had such a fun shoot. You did such a great job on Alex's
thank
car and
you.
whatnot.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, well, but then you were like, yo, you guys need to get in the shot. Like, let's take,
Yeah,
and that's like, that's that, hilarious Phoenix Vice shoot that I like to call it and
I
whatnot. It
like
was
it.
so fun. I felt like a model for about 2 seconds. I was like, so this is what Colby feels like when she
Those
goes ahead
came
and does the
out
model
so
shoots.
good too.
They
Like
really
those,
did.
the photos of you guys came out so good.
Not to toot my own horn or toot Alex's
Yep.
horn, but I will
Shoot it.
say,
Shoot
you know what?
it.
I think we're gonna go ahead and put this up on YouTube. So like, I wish I could go ahead and I should have brought it up on my laptop instead, but it is what it is. Let me go ahead and see if I can go ahead and bring it up really here. I'm taking forever and a day, but my freaking
No,
there we
you're
go.
good.
Where is it? Oh, here we go. So right
Such a good
there.
shot.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
a
me so
really great
happy.
shot. Oh, well, yeah, thank you for that. Cause like
Yeah,
again,
of course.
you know,
You guys look awesome in it too. It is like Phoenix Vice, you
it
know.
is full on Phoenix
The
Vice.
twist.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. It's one of the captions that I'm most proud of that I've ever written. Like I went full on movie
It's
trailer
a good one.
vibes with that
You
chat with
did.
that caption. It was so
You
good.
did.
But that was so much fun.
that was such a good shoot. Thank you guys for putting that together too.
Well, thank you. No,
That
thank you
was,
for doing it. It was.
yeah,
Are you kidding me? It
of
was our
course.
treat. Thanks for Alex
Anytime.
for being so awesome, and wanting to go ahead and do it and whatnot. Because but we just had a great time, and it was just like the cool thing about that shoot was it was me, for those of you who might listen, me and Alex, he's like my brother. That's my boy. Him and I
Mhm.
are super tight. And then when you go ahead and bring in someone to me that I consider close to me, such as Kolbi, and then her and Alex get along so well and so quickly, and everything just kind of like
Yeah,
pops off the way it does. It's just like you're just having fun. We're just hanging
it was
out
such
as
a good
friends,
time. Hmm.
and it's never like it's not a work thing or anything like that. It just happened to be like I'm hanging out with two amazingly cool people, you know,
100%.
and it's just a great time. It was
Yeah.
so much fun.
It
Yeah.
was all good vibes, like the desert, the cars, the views. The views were really pretty
The weather
phenomenal
was
too.
chef's
Oh,
kiss, dude.
phenomenal. The
Yeah,
sun, like the sunset coming down too. Oh my gosh,
oh,
like everything
so
about that day
killer.
was beautiful too.
Yeah, it was awesome because like
Hmm.
that week had rained a couple of days.
Okay.
And so
Yeah, it
like
was like muddy out. Yeah.
it was muddy and it was
Yeah.
cool. It was very
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, it's January, so January in Phoenix is not cold by any chance, by any
No,
stretch of
when
the
the sun
imagination,
sun
but it
goes
can really
down.
cool down. It can really
Yeah.
cool down, especially when you're in the mountains like that and whatnot. And so like it was just a nice crispness in the
Hmm.
air that was just
100%.
really enjoyable and whatnot. And yeah, and then we did the stupid funny ass reel of like when you go ahead
Oh
and
yeah.
drop your jaw, and Colby was like, Jorge, Alex, you got to do the
Do
thing.
it.
We got to do it. And I
Do
was
it. You
like
have to.
okay, sure. Like and
I was
that
like, you guys would be perfect for this.
yes, and I mean it's fair to say I looked more like an idiot than he did, but it was
No,
hilarious and I loved it.
it was so
Um,
good.
it was great. We had the best time. We really
Mhm.
did. We had a blast. And yeah, and then we drove we got you back over to the hotel, hung out with Johnny for a little
Mhm.
bit. Johnny was
Yeah.
amazing. Literally,
Aw.
Johnny, I feel for Johnny because that man was so tired.
I
Like
know.
just I'm not going to say he was lifeless because he did have life, but it was like he was
Barely.
fighting. He was
He was
fighting
struggling.
for his life.
Oh,
And
100%.
and Colby goes to the hotel and she said she went to go ahead and like get freshened up because obviously she'd been out on the road for like 17 hours at this point. And
We
I'm
had
hanging
dinner.
out with yeah,
Yeah, we
and,
had
and
dinner.
and I'm hanging out with Johnny, and I'm like thinking, oh, I'll just go ahead and talk with Johnny for like 5 minutes, and I'll go ahead and call it a night. No, Johnny and I stay talking for like another 45 minutes
I was gonna say,
before
you guys were
Colby
out there
even
for
gets
a
back.
while.
Yeah, and we were, and it wasn't even like it was just conversation, and it was like,
Yeah.
and I told you this, and I told him this, and it was just like Johnny is such a well put together, like really knowledgeable, intelligent person, wise
Mhm.
beyond his years. Mind you, Johnny is Colby's age, who are both quite a bit younger than I am, and like I'm over here like wanting to go ahead and listen to him for advice as opposed to expect having the expectation of it being the other way around. And like you don't get a chance to go ahead and really see that so often, right?
Mhm.
And that was something I really appreciated about Johnny, and something that I always
Aw,
appreciate about you is that you guys are way more mature than you have any right of being. To be quite honest with you,
thank you. Appreciate that.
no, of course, and I'm
Yeah,
not just saying
we
it,
appreciate
but
that. No.
yeah. And so I mean, I think that I spent an additional hour and 15 minutes than I expected. I didn't get home until like 9. It was crazy.
Yeah. I was gonna say I mean, you guys what? I went and got freshened up and I came back out and I think we stood there for another 15 minutes, 15, 20
Longer
minutes.
than
Like,
that. Yeah, just
yeah.
hanging out by the trailer.
Like, yeah,
Um, just
you guys were there the whole time and I was like, all right, like sweet,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I like this though.
it was
I
great.
was like,
No,
he's being social.
no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like it was a really good time, and he was just so
Good.
welcoming and whatnot. And it was just that was a great day. That was a great week. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like that was a
Good.
cool week. You know, I had a lot of fun covering the auctions and whatnot, and then getting a chance to go ahead and see you,
Yeah.
and then getting a chance to meet Johnny on top of that. Like, gosh,
Hmm.
like really, like that was I feel like almost a cherry on top of a freaking just great
Aw.
overall week and all that good stuff. And yeah, but I've been wanting to go ahead and tell that dumbass story of us getting lost at Westworld for such a long time, and I'm finally glad that we got a chance to tell it.
I'm glad we
And honestly, it's like not one of those stories of like, oh, that's hilarious. It's just like it just shows how stupid security is over at
Oh my gosh. Look, the man was doing
yeah.
his job, but I was like, brother, brother,
It's
please.
like my
Like,
man, you're killing
and
me.
I was like trying to, well, and I remember I had asked like one of the lovely ladies had walked by. She was also like working over there. And I was like, what gate is this? I was trying to get some answers or kind of get an idea of where I was at to tell you. And
Right.
no one could tell me what gate it was or like where we were. And I was I, I'm speechless because like I don't even know what to say to that. I was like, thanks, thanks, I guess. I don't know. Like,
Oh my gosh, it was good times. But um, speaking of which, because you talked about Moda Miami,
mhm,
and whatnot, and we were talking about the Arizona Biltmore, and you were over at the Biltmore for
mhm.
Moda and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, a few weeks back, I had, of course, dear friend of the pod, Dylan, from DuPont, as well as Jordan, and as well as shout out
Mhm.
to Lorenzo, from ECME. And so Dill was over at Moda. He actually hit up both Moda and Amelia
Yeah.
on the same weekend. And as did, of course, dear friend of the pod, Ryan Barkey from the steering committee. Shout out to Ryan.
Mhm.
Much love to you, brother. Um, he hit up my Amelia. Dill hit up both Amelia and Moda. You hit up Moda.
Mhm.
So I've kind of gotten their vibes from how they enjoyed those events. How was Moda for you?
So this year was the first year that it has taken place.
Mhm.
I would say for a first time event, especially for Miami, just because, we have like a little week down here where it's kind of like Miami Car Week, as I like to call it,
Yeah, is that like
where
Meekum and stuff like that?
um that I don't believe it's Meekum, but I know like I'm sure that maybe there's some auctions and stuff going on
Yeah,
here. But Moda did have RM Sotheby's, so they were there, which was kind of cool to have an auction house, actually going on there as well.
yeah.
Um, a little birdie told me that maybe Haggerty might be coming down next year too. So I don't know if I'm supposed to spill that tea, but on the TT we do. So
Spilling the
uh,
tea on
on
TT.
the
Let's
tea,
go.
exactly. So I don't know if that's confirmed or not. That's just from a little birdie. But so
Thank you, Birdie.
curated curated and like prestige and like some of the bigger car
Dealerships and whatnot. Yeah,
dealerships. Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
Dealerships around here. They do the Miami Concourse
Mhm.
down in the Design District. So that kind of like kicks everything off. And then the way that they carried it over into the Moda Miami, I think that just kind of kept everything going, which was fun. It was like the last like little cherry on top event. Um, for being a first year event, I think it went really well. They had a good mix of just, between vintage, between newer, between American muscle. I mean, Ford, I think I have a cool shot on film that I'm going to be sharing soon, but it's, a true Ford GT. You got a Shelby and then you got a GT 500. So it's like Ford's top, top cars. And then you got the Biltmore in the background. And
That's
so
cool.
they had their hypercars, their supercars, all the auction cars, of course. They had the Fangio Mercedes. I want to say it's a 195. I I'm gonna no people are gonna come at me because I'm totally wrong on that. Anyway, so they had the Fangio car there, which was really
The
cool to see in
Fangio
person.
race car from back in the 50s.
Yes,
That's
I want to
cool, dude.
say. Don't quote me on the actual date of year of the ar. I
No,
really
it's all good.
can't
I
think of it
I
off.
really
Yeah.
can't tell you. Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying so hard. It's 10 o'clock, guys. I'm trying.
It's later than that now,
I don't
Colby.
know it off the top of my
It's
head. I'm sorry.
11:30 over up in
Oh, okay,
Miami.
yeah. So,
Colby's like, I don't even know what time it is anymore. I've completely lost track.
who's Colby? You know?
Where in the world is Carmen San
Where are
Diego and
we?
Colby Napier? I'm not sure.
Right. They had the Fangio car. They had a couple artists there. Just the atmosphere was amazing. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, it's a little humid. It's getting a little humid around that time, being South Florida. But the Biltmore, that estate is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I think it's an icon for an event. I think they did that very well. I see this going on for quite a while, honestly.
Right.
I see more people being a part of it. Um, there was a lot of people that went from the Amelia show and drove down or flew down within the couple days of, Moda as well. So they hit a day or two at each. Um, Try to think. I think Amelia was the weather wasn't too great this year from what
Oh,
I had
that's
seen.
right, because it was like raining
Yeah.
pretty hard up in North Florida. That's right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people are comparing it to, oh, Moto's gonna take the Amelia out and this and that
No,
because
you
there's a
can't
lot of
say
you can't
that.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I don't foresee it being something where they take out Amelia completely just because I feel like that's kind of a big show. You can't really just, if it does go bye-bye, I will be a little shocked personally. But I think between the two, I think Miami had a good turnout. I really do. I think Moda will be it's kind of the new dog. It's kind of like Audrine, for instance, the Audrine concourse up
Yeah.
in Rhode Island.
Which is going
Um,
on right now.
is it?
I think so.
Oh shit.
Or
Okay.
I think
I
this
didn't.
upcoming weekend, actually,
Is,
if I'm not mistaken.
is it?
Let
They might
me
be doing check.
hold.
I was
I
like,
will
wait, I
check
didn't know
right
that.
now. Because I swear to God,
Okay.
I could have. I thought I saw Matt Farah and Zach Clapman up in the Audrain right now.
They might be
Let's
at the museum because they have an
let's
Audrine museum.
Audrain Concours. Ta, 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 ta. Let's
Is it
see
going on?
here. I could have. Maybe they're at the museum.
I was like, I
Maybe
seen because I don't know, I can't recall who was up there, but somebody I had seen post was up there as well.
I think
But the
you're right.
concourse was like in September or
It's
October, I think.
October. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, like
sorry.
it
I
was towards.
miss.
No, you're good. You're good. I was like, is it going on twice? Like that's cool. Sorry,
I don't
got
know
my
why I
hopes
thought
up.
that. I must have misheard Matt Farah on the Smoking Tire the other day.
No, you're good.
Clearly. But yeah, it's going on. That's in October. I think
Okay,
they're just up there. You know what? I
they
think
might be
he
at
was
the
they're at the
museum.
museum for sure. And I think was
Okay.
also what it was they're prepping for that rally. Um
Yes. Okay.
and so
Got
I
you.
think that they're just like up there to go
Up
ahead and
there.
have meetings. And because I'm an idiot who can't listen
No, you're
correctly,
good.
I
You're good. You got me excited.
here I here I
I was
am.
like, what? I'm missing that.
Yeah,
But no, like along with Audrine, because what was it? This last year, or not this last one, but the year before was my first time going.
right.
And as cold as it was up there, and I'm not really a cold person, it was a gorgeous estate. It was a fun show where I think Miami, it's like, okay, it brings the heat because like I'm more of a heat person. I don't mind the
Sure.
humidity, but the atmosphere and the cars and just everything was off to a T. And they
It's also
had,
like kind of your vibe, Kolb.
yeah, it is.
Because like there's
It
this one
is.
shot. Shout out to Fury who was on the pod with Ian and with Mason, literally just a few weeks back.
Oh.
And there's a shot that she has,
Hmm.
and there's this young lady who's literally wearing a pink suit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
you. It happened to be you,
Is
and
it?
it is, yeah.
I have to check it out. What?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it ended up because I was like, I remember.
Okay.
I remember Automotive Alex commenting on it, and she was like,
Yeah. Oh,
"That's
yeah.
Colby."
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, it is Colby." Yeah,
And the pink said, sorry. I was like, wait, which
yeah.
one? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a
Okay, okay.
it's
Yeah.
and
No, I
whatnot.
remember
Like
that.
I and like
Alex
that's your
tagged
like
me in
I
it. And I was like, oh, that's
yeah
cool. And that's how I think we all got connected on yeah, okay.
yeah. So like and that
Oh,
I'm so I the Audrain is like I feel like way more your vibe. Again, we've talked about this in the past, like old souls.
hmm.
you know
Yeah.
you're an old
Oh, yeah.
soul and whatnot, even though you are still a child at heart. You're full on old soul and whatnot, so it doesn't
I am.
really bring me it doesn't really surprise me to know that the Audrain is all like a huge hella vibe for you and whatnot. That's pretty
That
cool.
one, that was cool. The estate, I mean, it was really windy when we were there, but
Mhm.
it was cold, but it was beautiful. Oh my gosh. I can't recall the name of the mansion that it was at, but the
Yeah,
estate. Oh my Lord, it was gorgeous. And even the town though, it was just like it was, fall was kind of happening, so like all the fall colors. You're in Newport, Rhode Island, so you have all this like it was a beautiful drive. Johnny and I were in the 40, the GT40, so we took that on the rally and we took that up there and we're cruising around in it. So that was actually a really fun moment. So fun memory of us. So
That's the
yeah.
first. I think I'm pretty sure that's the first time we've ever admitted that the GT40 belongs to somebody in, that you happen to know,
Yeah.
and whatnot. So, well, cat's out of the bag now.
It's out of the bag.
Uh, uh,
You wonder why I posted a lot.
if you wonder why it's posted a lot, it's because well, Kolbi knows that car really, really well. I'm trying to go ahead and think. I'm bringing up the Audrain right now, so it's at Newport, Rhode Island. But I'm trying to go ahead and see if they have the name of the mansion on here. Let me see. It's the Audrain Automobile Museum, which you went ahead and brought up. There's the Vanderbilt Cup, which I think that's the race itself that they go ahead and do, which is so cool. They have the Audrain Concord Best in Show. And by the way, there's another big show that happens up on the East Coast that happens in Connecticut as well that I remember um that Dylan went to, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. There's like a huge Connecticut car show that happens like right around that same time frame.
I'm thinking the Hamptons one.
Is that the one?
I know there's one in the Hamptons that goes on.
Okay.
I'm so bad at names right now, guys. I apologize.
No, well, it's also
Names
me
are
for
not my
not. Yeah.
names are not my thing here. Names and numbers.
Let me see if I can go ahead and let me see if I can actually find it here. Maybe no, it's too far ahead. I'm sure we'll talk about it
Yeah.
next time because I'm sure that we'll go ahead and have Dylan as well as Jordan coming back on the pod as well. So it's all good. But overall, Moto Miami, that's three people now that basically say that it was an absolute success. That's great to know.
Mhm.
I always and I think because you mentioned curated earlier
Mhm.
and whatnot, they were heavily involved in that. And
Yes.
it seems
Mhm.
like Tamarian really knows how to go ahead and really put on good shows.
Yeah, I believe so.
Right.
So everything that I've been to or attended that he's put on has been a good turnout and it's been graceful.
Right.
Sorry, it scared me. Sorry, somebody walked out of the gym and it scared me. Sorry.
We're live,
I'm up here.
folks.
I'm in my social room here, so it scared me. I was like, who's coming for me?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Please don't. Like
No, yeah,
whoever's there, please don't come for Colby. It'd
yeah,
be greatly appreciated.
great. But
Um
everything that Tamarian has put on that I have attended has been a great turnout and just it's very graceful. There's a
yeah.
drop gorgeous, gorgeous cars. Especially the history on some of these cars as well is breathtaking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Seriously, like just unreal levels of like
Hmm.
detail and the like talk about if you know cars that
Hmm.
curated has access to, and then the Audrain, even though it's an entirely different level because of the
Hmm.
different ages and the different demographics and whatnot. But it's so neat, and it's just like this whole different. I don't know, some a vibe that I'm not necessarily accustomed to, but I love the fact that I can be able to go ahead and talk to people about it and be more
Hmm.
immersed into it and whatnot. It's so cool. By the way, so we obviously you are now basing yourself in Miami,
Hmm.
and so Miami's driving roads and Miami's driving in general is a little bit different than what you were used to when you were in Southern California for that year. So you bought
Yeah,
a you bought a new daily
I did.
for a little Florida runaround.
I did.
I think it's adorable. Um, when
Oh
you first
man.
when you first shared it, because you actually haven't actually, oh, but you haven't shared it on
I
Instagram,
haven't
have
shared
you?
it.
So
I
we're
haven't shared
premiering it right now.
yeah.
Tell you what, please don't premiere it until I go ahead and
Yeah,
until we go ahead and drop this episode because that would be awesome.
I got
And
you.
if you do premiere it, then it's perfectly fine because it's your freaking car, so it doesn't matter. But when I first saw it, you said the year or you said how old it was, and I immediately went through my archives in my brain of like, okay, what cars could she have possibly gotten that would go ahead and meet the criteria, if you will, of being able to go ahead and be what I would consider a Miami car or a Florida
Yeah.
car.
Florida car, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
little
and I
cruiser.
for sure. And I
She's no race car.
not at all, not even the slightest. And I text Colby like four different options of what I thought it could be. Missed the mark by quite a bit. for the most part. Actually, no, I completely missed the mark. Let's be
It's gonna
completely
throw
honest.
everybody off so bad too.
It's gonna throw people off considering if you because like Colby's car history is Mustang, Cayman, and you would think, oh well, then it's a daily to go alongside
Mhm,
with the Cayman. You
mhm.
would think that's gonna go ahead and not be a race car, but like you'd think it'd be like somewhat,
Something efficient.
I don't know, something. So why don't you go ahead and tell the people what you bought, Colby?
So I will also say this is the first car I have ever owned in my name that is not the color black.
Oh, that's
So
true. It's not black.
yeah, it's not black. It's a
It's
red
not
car,
black. It is a red
which is,
car.
kind of crazy for me. I'm like, whoa, who is she? What is
Well,
she doing?
also, and I mean, this will probably give it away, but it is a convertible. It is a
It is.
roadster.
It is, which is also not anything I would ever. And okay, if you know me, you know that I am not really a huge convertible person. Not saying that some of them aren't, good or bad, but for me, it's usually not my specific taste. I am diehard coupe girl, and I was like, you know what? This is such a Miami vibe. But so yeah, the car that I got is a 1998 SLK 230. So she's just a little cruiser. She's got a little hard top, so she looks like a coupe, some kinda like I guess. I don't know, unless you don't know the car. Or if you know the car, I guess. But yeah, it's a little convertible and it's a little cruiser. And let me tell you, that thing is awesome on gas for
I'm
being
sure.
the year that it is. Oh my gosh. It's been a great car for down here.
Yeah,
Perfect
and it's
little daily.
so small.
It's tiny.
It's
It's been for tonight, the little event that I had just gone to. So my friend Ricky, I'm gonna butcher his last name, Bedoa, Ricky Bedoa. I'm gonna butcher it. Anyway, so my friend Ricky had put on a F1 pre-meet here for the Miami F1 going on. And it's in like downtown Miami slash Brickell, kind of getting to Brickell there.
right.
It's in, it's like a parking lot and it's like a pretty good size. Thank God for the small car. I was like, yeah, we're taking the daily tonight. We ain't going crazy. Like we're just
I was
cruising in
gonna
the
say, could
daily,
you imagine Johnny taking the freaking F-350?
Oh God, no. Oh my
It would have
gosh.
been. I mean, he would have been
There
like
was trucks there.
he literally would have gone ahead and just turned around and gone back home.
Oh yeah, no, he might as well. Honestly, I think he wanted to at one point, and then he started like kind of smiling. I was like, ah, you like it. He's like, it's nothing like I've ever seen. And I was like, because it's Florida. That's why. So, um, no, but there was people parked because it was so compact. Everybody was like just parking in front of each other.
Yeah.
And thank God the person had, I don't know, somebody moved like out of the way by the grace of God. So I was able to get out. And yeah, if that car wasn't as small as it was, I wouldn't have gotten home and gotten food and made it here on time.
It made it to the podcast. So thank
I
you,
made it to the
Mercedes, for being such a
podcast.
great for making
I
such a
know,
great car. Uh,
right?
I say there's a meme out there that everybody probably is aware of. It's I think from the original Austin Powers when Austin Powers is going ahead and driving that little cart and he's trying to go ahead and do the backup and like
Okay.
reverse and go forward and reverse in the little
Yeah.
hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's how I could see Colby rolling around in this SLK for whatever reason, but it is
Like
so freaking cute. It's such a fun little
it's
car.
it's a little grandma car,
It's
honestly, and
yeah,
it's that's
yeah.
what cracked me up. It's so funny, but I'm just like, you know what? This thing is a year younger than me, and it's kind of cool, honestly. And it's, you know what? The two things that I have noticed about this car or learned about this car, it has seat warmers. For a
Wow.
1998, it has seat warmers. So I was like, luxury, okay.
Heyo.
All right. And then I was messing around before I brought it down to Miami. My father had actually found it. So he went and like picked it up and stuff for me and before I came up and got it all dealt with. And so he was messing around. He's like, I really don't know much about like these cars. Like I don't, he's American muscle to the
Yeah,
T. Like that's
of
that's his
course.
T. Um so he's like, I don't know anything about these cars. And he's like, I don't know what this button does. So I was standing outside the car, outside in front of the car, and he pushes the button. And so I thought it was like a little like sensor on the front of the car. Well, it
Oh,
pulls
it's
out and it's the head it's a
it's the
headlight
red shit.
washer.
It's the headlight one. What? Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. So
Yeah. No, those are so I had a buddy of mine. What year he had an E46
okay.
E330 or 325, and it would have been like a 2003 probably. And
Hmm.
they had rain sensing wipers back in 2003.
Okay.
That
That's
said,
cool.
annoying because it would barely
Yeah.
feel anything and it would just go wham wham. It was
Yeah.
so insanely sensitive. But like late 90s Mercedes had the windshield, had the headlight wipers, and
Hmm.
that it like blows my mind to this day.
Hmm.
Like I don't
It
have
was
that in my
crazy.
2017 Kia Sorento. I don't have luxury.
That's what I'm saying. The Cayman, it's like, don't get like you're paying this money for this car, and it's like you think it's got like these, and don't get me wrong, it does have cool features. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, to a certain degree. But it's like, and then I buy this little like, you know, Facebook Marketplace car,
Yep.
and I'm like, this is awesome. Like this is kind of like this is kind of the tits.
Is it quick at all, Colby, or is it
No, it's
is it
not.
it's super
No,
slow?
it's not. Again, it is a cruising car.
Yeah.
That thing
It's a
does
four
not have
cylinder,
any.
right? Or is it's a four cylinder
I
or is it a six
believe
cylinder?
so.
Okay.
I don't honestly.
I
I
gotta
just
look up
found
to
it and I was
see.
like, cute. Yeah, I was like, I gotta look it up and see. I want to say it's a little four banger. I don't think
I
it's a
think
six.
I
If
think
it's
you're
a six,
right.
I'll cut the
That's
muffler
I
out.
was gonna I gotta look this up really quickly. Hang on. Mercedes SLK
I think it's a
SLK
four.
230. Let's see here. Oh, it's a compressor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Um yep, it's a 2.3 4-cylinder,
Okay.
5-speed auto.
Yeah.
It makes, according to this, 5 horsepower less than my Kia Sorento,
Yeah.
which is a 4,000 pound SUV. And your
This thing
car
makes
weighs what's your car weigh out of the box?
uh
3,055 pounds. So you're making 5 horsepower less than I am and 1,000 pounds less.
mm-hmm.
Efficiency,
This
ladies and
thing,
gentlemen.
it's so funny because I've been doing these little like run clubs and stuff like once a week, and I was driving and I was like, you know what? I was on a little straightaway. There wasn't anybody in front of me. And I was like, let's test it out. And I went, boom. My foot was to the floor and it did nothing.
That's hysterical.
I was like, what the heck did I just get? But
Yeah.
you know what?
It's
She's great on
hey,
gas.
it's
She's a
it's a
cruiser.
runaround. It's a runaround for the city,
It
dude.
is. It is. It's a little,
We
it's honestly, it's like a little go to the beach car. Like that's
for sure.
top down
Literally,
and everything.
we traded in blast to Pismos to running around the beaches in South Beach
Yeah.
and rolling around in SLKs. That's
Mhm.
it is what it is. That's how we roll, yo.
It's been honestly like, it's been a dream. It's been a dream.
That is so cool. I honestly, I'm so jealous. I really am. Like, it might come across like as I'm trolling. I'm really not.
No,
I'm
no, you're good.
actually low key super jealous because you told me what you paid for it. I'm not gonna go ahead and say what you paid for it, but you paid very little money for this car,
Hmm.
and I'm just like,
Hmm.
damn,
The deal of
that's
like the century.
awesome.
And like, this is the thing is like, for, the mileage, it doesn't have over 100K, but it's like a pretty low 100K, which is nice. I
Sure.
think it's got 112 on it, which
Uh-huh.
for 98, that's not too bad.
That's not all.
Um, so, oh shoot, what was I gonna say?
Well, you were
Remind me.
saying like how
Sorry, I was like, what was
well
I
it
saying?
was
Sorry.
it's just so efficient. You were just talking about its efficiency. We said that how inexpensive this car
Oh
was. You
yeah,
got the deal of a century. It's got 112,000 miles on it.
112. There we go. And
Yeah,
it was a one. Sorry, there we are. I was like, where was I going with this?
I
It was a
got you, sis.
one. I know. I was like, backtrack here. Help me out here. It was a one owner car, so it's been kind of like garage kept, so it's clean. The interior needs a little love, but I mean, it's nothing. They're like $150. So she's going to get a new interior soon, but for the time
Nice.
being, yeah. So
Does
for
your
the price,
radio?
I was like, sweet.
Do you have
Hmm.
a working radio?
I do have a radio that does not work.
Oh, welcome to the clubs,
Yeah, no,
yo!
it doesn't work. So
Welcome
it's
to the
fine.
club.
Yeah, woo, woo, woo. No radio club. No,
Team
it's
no
got like
radio.
I think it needs to go get reset, and I've been way too lazy about going and actually having somebody do that because I am
Yeah,
not a technology person whatsoever.
I got you.
Hmm.
Well, you don't
Yeah.
even have to really drive it around that much, right? Because everything
Hmm.
that you have is like around you.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
just
it's
walk
really
places.
groceries and shoots, and that's really, really it. Run
Yeah.
club.
I was gonna say that's where I mean you run. How are
Yeah.
shoots going on right now? How is it?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I haven't really done too many car shoots down here lately. I've been doing a lot more portrait, which has been kind of a fun little twist.
Oh, cute.
Um,
I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so I've been doing more on like the Kolbe a little bit. I
Oh,
got some
yes.
film.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You've
Yeah.
been doing like bit like what do you call it? Like a lot of the startups.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
style stuffs. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
More
Yeah. When you think of
lifestyle, more
when
portrait.
you say portraits, I'm like thinking to
Sorry,
myself,
yeah.
"Hey, Colby, can you go ahead and do my prom pictures?" That's literally where I went to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know if I could do prom or wedding, which props to everybody that does. It's a really good side of the industry to be in, but I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
But no, as in like the lifestyle, more brand, like brand media, which that's kind of a comfort zone for me as well. But it's kind of fun working with like a one-on-one company where I'm like, I've actually met the lady on that owns the company on Upwork,
Hmm.
and and we've been talking for like the last year about working together. And I was like, I moved to Miami, let's set something up. And she was such a sweetheart. Just activewear company. So I was like, it's pretty cool. So I've been doing that, a little bit more on the side. Let's see. Car wise, I went and got some film developed. It was my last role, Moto Miami. I do have a couple car shoots coming up here soon, so I won't reveal what they are yet. But yeah, so those are coming up. Honestly, I kind of took like a little like step back, a little bit of a break, which was nice. So probably about a month break, honestly. So a little sporadic, but yeah, just trying to get in the routine of everything. I've actually been kind of just like I've been getting back in the gym, like feeling healthier, being healthier, painting a lot. So there's some good opportunities on the horizon, so which I'll share more probably in the future, but yeah, so it's good. It's all good.
Exactly, which goes back to our conversation right at the beginning, was just talking about like, your mental health
Hmm.
and whatnot, and just enjoying what you want to do, and just enjoying life and not feeling pressured to have to go ahead and do the things that you feel like you need to do. Like, you don't feel that way. You're actually
Hmm.
in a place where like you want to now do things and whatnot, which is
Hmm.
very different.
100%.
And I love that for you. Seriously. Like
Yeah.
that's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but real quick though, because
Mhm.
we do talk about cars on this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We reviewed a Mercedes SLK 230, and we've determined that slow but awesome, and efficient, even though it's
Hmm.
26 years old, and it makes as
Hmm.
much horsepower as my Sorrento.
Yeah.
Makes me so angry. Um, um, so I texted you earlier today on my way from work, um, that a new car launched. Now,
Hmm.
okay, by the time that this podcast drops, everybody will have already seen it because it's been like it'll probably would have been 4 weeks by this point and whatnot. But that's fine, because I don't care because I want to talk to my homie about it anyways. Um, I love Ferraris. I love the
Hmm.
Prancing Horse. I think it's fantastic. The Prancing Horse is going to be rocking light blue this weekend at Miami for the Miami
Yeah,
Grand Prix. Like, are you
which should
hyped
be
about that?
interesting.
I like that.
Um, I don't know how to feel about it. I just because for me, I don't know. I think it's
Really?
different for Ferrari. It's a
Yeah,
cool switch up, especially being Miami. I mean, I see what they're trying to do with it. But I'm also just like, I don't know, Ferrari to me is just like I picture red, like that's
for
just
sure.
their statement color.
For
So
sure.
yeah.
Um, is it Guido that rocks that's the little blue Fiat in cars? Is that Guido?
Guido, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. The little,
because
yeah.
because Luigi is the owner of the tire shop, and Guido is his
Yeah,
best friend.
his
Okay.
best friend. Hmm.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
think so. Yeah,
I
it's been
think
a
somebody
minute.
would have yeah, somebody put that up on Instagram earlier today, and I
That's funny.
chuckled
Oh, that's funny.
because it's the same blue. It's the
Yeah,
same blue. And then you got
that's
Guido rocking
awesome.
the red, white, and green like
Yeah.
hairdo, repping Italia. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's incredible. So
Oh my gosh.
um Ferrari went ahead and released today the replacement to the 812 Superfast. And I believe that it's called the Ferrari, is it the 12 cylindri? I believe it's what it's called.
Okay.
Let me go ahead. I think that's it. Yeah. The 12 cylindri,
I
which
think.
it translates to 12 cylinder. Um, and well, this thing is going to be absolutely batshit, like full on redonkulous. Have you gotten a chance to go ahead and take a look at it since I wanted
I
it?
haven't.
Nope.
I was like, you're gonna hate me, but
No, no, no. It's okay. It's okay. I got you because I'm
I
gonna
was
go ahead.
playing back and forth, getting out a card charade when I was supposed to
Shout out to
look.
Kolbi for going ahead and putting up a story about me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Give a like real quick. Let me go ahead and bring this up really quickly so that way
Yes,
you can
please.
see what I'm
I do want
talking
to see
about.
it.
Yeah. So you've seen Ferrari Roma, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and show you this here, and then you can tell me your thoughts. So this is the 12. This is the 12 cylindri Spider. You see that?
Okay.
How's that look?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's the Spider. Here
Interesting.
is where's the coupe? Here's the coupe.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go ahead and let me
Yeah,
bring
show it.
up the front
Keep it
end so
going.
that yeah. Here's the front end. Right?
Okay.
So, okay. You get
I was like,
first
you're reading my
glance.
facial expression.
I am. Yeah. I am. Because okay.
Ooh. Yeah,
First of
let's
all,
hear it.
let's give specs real quick. If I'm not mistaken, it's still the 6.5 liter V12.
Mhm.
Now we're pushing 820, which is the same as the Competizione. That
Yes.
was the last iteration of the 812, and the Competizione Aperta, which is obviously the Roadster. So we're rocking that powertrain. Still with um the rear wheel steer, if I'm not mistaken, is going to go ahead and either an option or standard, which is wild. And I think I, I was looking it up on Top Gear's website, and I think their article said that. Let me go ahead and double check. I'm wondering if they've shortened the wheelbase. Not
Ooh.
sure if they did.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Um, the red line is crazy. I'm about to tell you what the red line is because the red line is insane. Um, Oh, okay. So basically, they brought over the same brakes and suspension hardware from the A12 Superfast, but the software is thoroughly remapped, and it's now it's brake by wire. Um,
Okay.
and it gained a little bit more weight than the 812, but that's because of the larger wheels, and it
Okay.
also has active aero. Um, but if
Interesting.
you get all the carbon, like if you add everything carbon, dry weight is supposed to be 1,560 kilograms. I don't know exactly what that translates into pounds. I'll have to
Yeah.
look it up. So they're saying that, about mid 1600s is what you're going ahead and looking at. Oh, okay. Here, I was right. So it's a 20 millimeter shorter wheelbase.
Okay.
So,
That's
damn.
pretty okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's shorter, a little bit heavier, but a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and do the math here. What 1,600 kilograms comes out to be? 1,600 kg, 2 pounds, 3,527. So 3,500 pounds. Oh, let's say 3,600.
Okay.
Not gonna lie to you,
Not
Colby.
bad. That's
I
not
think
bad.
3,600 is actually pretty good.
I was like, that's pretty
This is
good.
really
I was
good.
like, that's not bad actually.
I mean,
So,
Revuelto is gonna weigh a
huh.
lot more than that.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
a lot more than that. So my understanding is I think that pricing wise, they're looking at starting at 395 pounds. So
Okay.
we're looking at probably like low 400K, mid 400K
Yeah.
starting, which really doesn't come as a surprise.
Mm-mm.
But
Hmm. I,
okay,
hmm.
let me ask you this,
Mm-hmm.
because you like Ferraris, right?
I do. Yeah.
You do.
To agree. Yeah.
Yeah. When did you like of the front engine V12s? What is your
Okay.
favorite? What do you think is the best looking one of the entire of all the ones that you can think of? Whether it's 550, 575, 599 into F12, A12.
Mm.
You can even include Daytona if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I gotta go more vintage with the Ferrari because I don't like a Daytona. It's kind of probably more my vibe or
Okay.
my feel. I don't know the Ferrari platform that well. It's kind of like we've talked about it a little
We
bit where
have,
it's like
yeah.
BMW, it's like BMW Mercedes for me, where I'm like, I really don't know, and it's really hard for me to recall the names.
It's okay. No, no,
Yeah, no,
it's all
I'm
good.
being completely upfront. Like, so
Yeah.
Ferrari isn't really my, like some, 250 LM, like obviously Daytona, like those are a little bit more like my cup of tea. Where the
Yeah.
newer stuff, I don't remember it that well. Obviously, like Pista, like that's pretty cool for me. Like I do like those a lot.
Right.
But again, like where I'm like, couldn't tell you.
It's all good.
Like I
But like,
couldn't tell you honestly if it's
no,
not, you know.
it's all that's the thing. So like, I'm gonna be completely upfront with everybody here.
Mm,
I like the F12. So F12 was
okay.
right before A12.
Mm,
After and I like that car. I think it's
yeah.
cool. And when A12 was announced that it was going to be replacing F12,
Mm,
um, if you looked at this back in, I think it was like 2017 is when it was announced for a 2018 model. Um, I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, all they did was go ahead and just they remodeled an F12. It's literally an F12 with just a different headlights and different taillights. Like, what the hell,
mm,
guys? I was so mad at Ferrari, Colby. Like
mm.
angry with them. I was like unbelievably annoyed. I was like, you guys suck. And then and then something happened and I fully fell in love with the A12
Okay.
and think it's 5 times prettier than the F12, like
Mm,
by a wide margin. Like I love the 812. Completely
okay.
changed my mind on it. Think it's the coolest car ever.
Hmm.
Unbelievable. And I mean it's downright drop dead gorgeous to me. If
Okay.
I had to buy a new Ferrari right now or a
That would be,
newish Ferrari, I would
yeah.
absolutely get myself either an 812 Superfast or an
Okay.
812 Aperta. I think it's an
Okay.
812 Aperta. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh I love them. I think they're awesome. So
I'll,
I bring this up because like it took me a while to go ahead and get over the fact and just love 812. I don't necessarily like the look of this 12 cylindri. I don't.
I
But
don't.
what makes me
I don't.
like gives me anxiety is like, oh, am I going to go through the same thing that I just went through with 812 and F12 where I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I like it now? Like, I don't know. Like it's weird.
Well, and so from the photo, as you could probably see my expressions from, what I had
Yeah.
seen,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of reminds me, and I have to look at these a little bit more in depth. So just from being over the phone here and seeing what I've seen, it kind of gives off a dark horse. Like the front, just that futuristic, like I'm being 100% serious. Like it just to me, from what I can see or
I
just
did
seen,
not expect you to say dark horse right now. I'm
it
so
does.
sorry.
It
Carry on.
looks, I don't, well, like, and everybody's going, and this is something that kind of irritates me, I guess, with the new era of cars, is everybody's going for the, and some people love it and some people are just not, it's really hard. It's really hard to, for it to grow on me. But it's that futuristic look.
Right.
I don't like it. I like the curves. I like the sharp, sharp edges. Like that's just something sure
Yeah.
there's a couple cars that maybe have a little bit more of the lighter, rounder curves, but that one I did not like. It looks like a freaking dark horse.
I get that. But here's the thing. And this is where it's like, oh, okay. Then you can't hate it because it's a
Mhm.
V12 with a
No,
9500 red line.
100%. Yeah.
So
Holy crap.
red, like, right? You didn't
Gee.
realize I was going to go there.
No, I
What
didn't know that. Okay. I was like, I didn't. I gotta look at it. I didn't know.
95 is crazy.
That's
That is
nuts.
nuts. And
Holy shit.
I think what did it say? I think it said like, said peak power wear. Let me look this up real quick.
That's insane.
That is an insane red line. I don't care because you don't hear those red lines that often anymore.
Mm-mm.
Um, 95 and a 6.5 liter V12 is absolutely diabolical.
Yeah, that's
Red lines 9,500, and then max torque. Max torque is at 7,250, and but then you
Oh,
have more than 3/4. Okay, so max torque is 7,250, but you get 3/4 of that at 2,500 RPM.
okay.
So, and then the 0 to 25 number is absolutely bananas. It's like 0 to 125
Kind of
is like,
freaking nuts of a car, honestly. It really
yeah, no,
is.
I mean, the A12 is
Wow.
already crazy in and of itself. I
Yeah.
remember the first time I ever saw numbers for the F12 Berlinetta that Motor Trend ran.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and it would like that car ran a low 11 in 2014, which is
Okay. Too soon.
fast. No, it's okay.
Mhm.
Like a low 11 is fast in that car. But the
Mhm.
crazy thing was that the trap speed was like stupid. The trap, like it was running so you're in you go to all these drag races and you go to all these like drifting and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
cars are fast, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to go ahead and be at a drag race and see what the quarter mile number is. It's another thing to go ahead and see once the tires hook up what the pace that it's
What?
pulling at, or the
Hmm.
fact that because it took a while to hook up, it's pulling that hard. But like an
Yeah.
F12 Berlinetta was doing like 134 miles an hour running a low 11s quarter mile. And then, now you have 812s like running deep into the 10s. Like,
Yeah.
are we going to see this 12 cylindri? Like, is this going to be like a low 10, high nines car? Like, that's
That's
stupid,
wild.
dude. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe not quite high nines, but like low 10s
Look at,
is
yeah.
crazy. I don't care how much it costs. What have we?
My thing, my thing is like people can just go buy this though too. Well, I guess
No, no, no.
like
They
that.
can't. No,
That's
no. They
insane.
can. They can.
That's
Yeah, I mean, you might
insane
have to. You
because
might have
some
to
people just
buy like
shouldn't be
three
driving on the road.
Purasangways. Yeah, you might have to
So,
buy three Purasangways to go ahead and get one of these. But like, this is
yeah,
this is their
100%. But
flagship V12 front
yeah,
engine Grand Tour.
that's insane.
Like, if you have 500,000 and you've bought enough Ferraris, you can go ahead
Yeah,
and,
you can
you
go
know,
ahead and purchase.
yeah.
Yeah.
If Edmund Mundy really wanted to go ahead and actually put down the money, he could go ahead and buy it and probably crash it like he did a Santa. Like it's just
Yeah.
wild. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why some people shouldn't drive certain cars, and just some people just shouldn't drive. Period. So
I I didn't mean to bring that up, but I
sorry.
did. No, it's okay. I probably should have kept
Like,
my mouth
sorry,
out.
I'm mad about it too. Don't worry.
No,
That is a gorgeous car. Oh
you,
Lord, it's rip,
seriously,
rip.
I liked that spec on that car more because of the Ford GT that you happen to know. Um, like, because I saw the dark green, I was like, oh hey, it's like
Mm-hmm.
the Ford GT, like that thing, so cool.
Insane. It was
Yeah,
beautiful too. Oh my gosh,
really,
that car in person is nuts.
yeah. Yeah, I
So
need to
yeah,
I need to see that GT in person. I really, really do. Just, just
we can get
man,
in line. Yeah.
my right, my intrusive thoughts are really taking over right now. But yeah, like, so the Porosangwe took me a while to go ahead and be like, oh man, you know what? I was kind of low key wrong because I've seen a Porosangwe in person. That's the four
Mhm.
door
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
FUV.
yeah.
And I saw one in person over at Espressos and Engines. Shout out to my
Mhm.
boy John Paul.
Mm.
Ferrari Scottsdale brought one out, and I saw it in person. I was like, damn, that's kind of good looking, like
Okay.
really good looking. Um, and Ferrari Roma is a good looking car. It's not a great looking
Mhm.
car, and I just see this as a bigger version of the Roma.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't ignore that powertrain. That powertrain is like
That no,
disturbing.
that's you can't. Yeah, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like that kind of with some of this newer, horsepower and all this speed and all this and that, and it's
There's
like
no hybrids, by the way. This is
no, I
a
know this is just
V12.
pure like yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of just like that scares me a little bit here is like just the fact that obviously I'm sure you have to buy the couple Ferraris and stuff first in order to be in line to get one of these bad boys. But it's just anyone who can just go and drive and buy this and be on the road with it. And it's like, there's some kids out there that mommy and daddy let drive. And it's like, they should not be on the road, especially with that horsepower. Sorry, call me, say it if I'm wrong, but like that scares me.
No, for
That is
sure.
terrifying. And
No,
it's
those
like
kids
no
need to be
hate to
in.
'em,
Yeah.
but like they're just not mature enough to understand certain things or listen, and they want to take it, they want to spin it, they want to do this and do that. And then it's like that's why we see all this stuff like in ditches and on the roads and in concrete walls and
Yep.
dealerships. So
Absolutely. If anything, those kids should be in Mercedes SOK 230s other than
that's what
instead
I'm
of 12 cylinder.
saying.
And honestly, do you think that's the perfect starter car, Colby? I think it is, isn't it?
Um, I don't know. It depends, I guess, on what the person is kind of like how far into the industry they're into or wanting to be in. I think a good starter car, if somebody's wanting to like build a car, would be like a Nissan 350Z or 370Z or something, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my go-to. That or a Mustang, Camaro, just even if it's a little V6 or something, I think that's a good like kind of starter entry car. That's okay. It's not bad. It's a good one maybe for like a little high school car or something, or a little college car, or if you just want a little cruiser around town, a little grocery getter.
Little grocery getter around Miami.
Yeah. So
Let's just
I
rolling
would,
around
yeah, I
Miami
mean,
Gardens. Yeah.
I really haven't seen too many of them down here though, which just kind of makes me, I'm like, oh, cool, I got a little something, got a little, got a little oddball in here.
I love that. That is so funny. I mean, it's cool. It is super
Sure,
cool. But
sure.
I implore you all, and again, I'm sure that everybody would have gone ahead and taken a look at it by now. But if you haven't, please go ahead and check out the
Mhm.
Ferrari 12 cylindri. If you have any thoughts, go ahead and let us know in the comments on the podcast. Like that would be awesome. Or shoot us a
Mhm.
DM. I would love to know what you all think. I have a sneaky suspicion that I'll probably go ahead and come around on it later on.
Mhm.
More so, not necessarily because of those looks, because the looks I'm like iffy on, but like you cannot deny that
Mm-mm.
powertrain. Like,
Heck no.
it like I really thought that the next replacement, that the upcoming replacement to the A12, which is this, I thought it was
Hmm.
going to have hybrid assist. I really did.
Okay.
And I'm really surprised that they were just like, oh, no, no, we are dropping another hot ass V12.
And that makes me so happy that some people are still doing that.
Yeah, sure.
Ferrari,
No,
because
I couldn't agree
everybody's
with you
doing
more.
hybrid, electric, and this and that, and it's like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Let me tell you something right now. I'm happy that hybrid systems exist now, because if we
for sure.
didn't, then Lamborghini wouldn't have released the V12 with the Revuelto. It was the
Yeah.
only way that they felt compelled, that they felt that they could go ahead and get, because the Lamborghini was not in their right minds going to go ahead and put a twin turbo kit on an Aventador or on a V12 Lambo.
Yeah.
They weren't going to do that. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that they would go ahead and put a hybrid powertrain to go along with the V12, and like it makes the V12
Mhm.
cleaner. And it's like,
Yeah.
hey, if we live in a world where a V12 is considered clean, I want to live in that world.
Oh.
And so, the fact that Ferrari is like, no, 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 no.
Yeah. No. No.
We have 6.5 liter V12. We have
Hmm.
Lewis Hamilton coming to our team. We have V12s.
Yeah. No. And
Yeah,
I'm glad that Ferrari stuck with it and actually kept it to a true
yeah, it's just in 800 plus
That's
horsepower in a 3,500
insane.
pound rear wheel drive front engine V12 is psychotic. But
Nuts.
leave
Literally.
it to Maranello. You know,
Right.
maybe this is how 812 prices go ahead and plummet down, which I would be the happiest man on earth. I would, oh my God.
That
Yes.
that's something that I could see possibly happening here.
Yeah. By the
That
way,
yeah.
I saw an M2CS yesterday for sale in Florida,
Mhm.
which, I've talked to you about M2CSs way too
Mhm.
often. Um, and it was
Whereabouts?
like, didn't say,
Oh,
may have been Miami,
I
may
was like,
have
let me
been.
know. I'll go check it out.
Well, it's like, dude, it was 65 grand. And I was like, what?
Tempting.
And then I remembered, but it's also in Florida.
Yeah, it's in Florida.
Well,
Yeah.
because like everybody, I have a Floridian on the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Please don't take it the wrong way, but everybody
No, you're
knows
good.
you don't buy cars from Florida.
You don't. You really don't.
You really
You
don't.
don't.
I will. Okay, so here it is. It's still up for sale. It's on cargo. It's in Naples.
Okay. All right. It's not too
Sixty-five
far.
seven. It's 65.7.
Okay.
Um, it has 8,900 miles. Can I afford it, Colby? No. Do I want to? Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously. I, you know,
I
oh
get
my
it.
God.
Trust me. I get
That
it.
just made me laugh.
You're
But yeah,
speaking to you're preaching to the choir over here. I get it.
that might be the cheapest M2 CS in the country right now. I'm not gonna lie to you because everything else is like 80 and it's wild. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like the
Mm-hmm.
miles aren't nothing.
Dude, 8,900 miles. It's a brand new
Nothing.
car. That's
Yeah.
literally a brand new car. So I think we're getting ready to go ahead and finish up the podcast. We had. Did you? I know I texted you yesterday about like coming up with like a few cars that we thought would be like the coolest like support car slash grand tours. Did you think of some?
I have some to mind. I don't know if
Okay.
I have like 10, but
No,
I
that's
got some
fine.
to mind. Yeah.
How
Like
many
I
how
guess
many you got? Because I got a few too. I got a few in my brain.
so as in like okay, were you talking like rally cars or just cars to pace in, cars to like you would take across the country, just
Cars
like
that you would take
cruising?
like more across like a country. Like when I said rally cars, I meant in the sense of like rally support cars. So like let's
Okay,
say,
okay.
Colby and Jorge were invited to a dope ass rally
Hmm.
and we were the support car for someone else who is in a dope ass car and they needed us to be the support car. It's like, okay, well what would Colby
Okay.
and Jorge and Johnny in this instance take?
I
That's where my
feel
brain is at.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only reason why this even came to my brain was because I was watching a video from
That's a
Matt
good one.
Farah on the Smoking Tire, and I felt, and it's one of my all, like I think I've talked about this. I love luxury barges. I do.
Mhm.
I adore them. Like if I could buy a Bentley Brooklyns right now, I would.
Mhm.
It'd be the coolest thing ever. Um, so this is the epitome of that, and I was like, okay, well, guess what, Colby? This is what we're talking about. So,
Yeah, I was like, I
but
don't know if I have 10, but I was like, I got a handful
I,
here.
I, I did I did say 5 to 10. And I was like, that's a
Okay.
lot,
I was like, I
and
don't
I
know
am
if I got.
so sorry. But
No, no,
why
no,
don't you
you're
hit
good.
what?
You're
Let
good.
me let me hear what you got first.
Okay. So I would say for like, okay, as like a pace car along like on a rally.
Hmm.
So a Cayenne
Let's let
GTS.
okay, and okay, Cayenne GTS. Hold that thought.
Yes.
For those
Go
people
ahead.
that need that I'm sure that everybody's probably familiar, but you have to realize that on these rallies, these cars like the cars that we're
There's
about to
issues.
describe, they have to have pace. Like they have
Yeah,
to
they
have
have to.
mega
Yeah, they have to.
pace. Yeah, so we're thinking
They
like
have
at
to.
least 450 horsepower or more.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm trying to, and that's the thing I was like trying to keep up with is like horsepower here.
Right.
And like the gas mileage as well, like keeping up gas mileage and horsepower. Because some of them,
Gotcha.
it's like you get one or the other, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you
Um,
were going back to your car, you said a Cayenne GTS.
yeah, I think a Cayenne GTS, I feel like that would hold pretty well just because they got enough boost to keep going. I mean, even if they're a little bit behind, they are able to keep up with
Uh-huh.
them to a good, good degree. Um, I
And
think a
comfortable.
fun one and comfortable, yeah. I think another good one would be a Audi, is it a RS6?
Yeah.
Like the wax, you know what I'm talking
A
about? I was
wagon.
like,
Of course I do.
I was like, okay, I was like, I
The
think,
coolest wagon on the planet right now.
yeah, I was like, it's a beautiful car, and I was like, I've seen a couple on the rallies, and I was like, they keep up pretty well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was like, I think that'd be good actually, like, because you can still store stuff in it if you need, a wheel or you need food or extra.
Camera
Sorry,
equipment. Yeah.
yeah, camera equipment or just extra emergency stuff. Or just an extra passenger camera car. Lamborghini Urus. That would
Yep.
be, that's to the T. Trying to think what else would be a good one. Um, what, that's three so far?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I feel like that was the Aston Martin, the SUV. I feel like that would be an
Oh, the
interesting one if I,
DBX.
yeah, but I was like, I feel like that would be a pretty cool one. Like if I had one
It
that was like
would.
rolling through.
It would. I'm
I
not sure
don't
it's
know
as
on,
good as the Urus, but it'd be
yeah, I don't think
really
so.
good.
I was like, I feel like that would be like a good like candidate, kind of like right
Yeah.
under the earth. Let's see. Um, are we doing like more SUV or just like any car?
I had SUVs and wagons and
Anyway,
estates in my brain.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear yours. I was like, that's gonna be like my four. That's like my top four
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. One of the first cars that I thought of, because it doesn't necessarily have to be brand new, so I'll go ahead and just say
Mhm.
this right now. I was thinking like a 2008 to 2012 Cadillac CTS-V wagon as one of them.
Yeah,
You know
that
what I'm
would be a good
saying?
one too.
That'd
Yeah,
be
a
hella
CTSV.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
the 550
that would be a good one.
horsepower.
Yeah.
It's got a
Those things
wagon.
are actually those are fun to drive.
They are
I will
a
give them
fun to
that. Those are really
drive.
fun to drive.
They hold their value like nobody's business.
This is true.
They come, you can get them with an automatic and you can get the 6-speed manual, which everybody
Mm,
wants a 6-speed manual, and the prices on those are gone.
yeah.
Um yeah, but that's to me a perfect support car on a rally.
Mm,
Um you mentioned Urus and you mentioned RS6, so I will go ahead and say the E63S wagon,
okay.
which, it's a Mercedes very fast wagon. It's awesome.
Hmm.
It rules.
Yeah,
Everybody
those are
knows.
yeah. I was like, those are pretty cool
Yeah,
cars. So like, I feel like that's right up there.
100%. Um, what I'll mention the car that I really want to go ahead and say in just a second. My wife's minivan would be incredible on a rally.
There we go. Hell yeah.
Just zooming at
Just
115, trying to
boost it
catch up
up,
with just
nitro.
I don't know, put a supercharger kit or
Yeah,
something.
right.
Just like
Oh my
front wheel drive burnouts like galore would be amazing. I mean, I've told you, like I definitely, I feel like if I really tried hard enough, I could go ahead and get one tire off the ground if I was really mobbing. It would be sketchy.
But
It's
yeah, it's like I don't know if I
terrifying.
would try it, but
Yeah.
oh, that's funny.
But yeah. So shout out to my wife's minivan.
Hmm.
Um, what else was there? Um, oh, I know. I mean, let's go ultra mega ultimate bougie. Rolls Royce Cullinan.
That'd be
I mean,
yeah, that's pretty cool actually.
insanity. Yeah. And then the one car that started this all, which I went ahead and made a post about yesterday, which will now be over a month by the time this drops, is the Bentley Flying Spur Speed.
Yeah,
Oh,
we mentioned
God,
that. Yeah.
love that car. I love that car, dude. So dope. So okay, so I was watching the video yesterday from Matt Farah, and the spec that Bentley gave him is
Mhm.
absolutely insane, Colby. Like an emerald green,
Ooh.
and it's got like this like flake in it, which is
Mhm.
insanity. And then it's got these let me tell you the exact color of the wheels, because the wheels were something spectacular. It was like a gold wheel. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, it was.
Okay.
The name of it is, what is it? Oh, Brogder. So it's like a satin gold,
Okay. Huh.
like straight
Interesting. Ooh. With
fire,
like
dude.
yeah, the emerald. What? You said there's flake in the emerald. I'm trying to like envision it. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
But, ooh.
I here's what I
Okay.
don't recommend. Don't go to Bentley configurator, because like on the configurator, it does not do it any justice. If you watch
Okay.
the Smoking Tires video
Yeah, I'll
on
check that one
camera,
out.
then you'll notice the
Okay.
deep flake in it.
Ooh.
It's stunning. I was like, oh my gosh, if I bought that car, this is the spec. This is the spec.
You like this
Nothing
one?
else.
This one's
Oh,
great.
it's amazing. I mean, Bentley's in darker colors to me are the move,
Yeah,
right? I think those estate
100%.
cars, like a
Hmm.
Rolls Royce, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think I'd buy any Rolls Royce other than black, because, you know, hello. But like if I had
No.
like a blue,
Yeah. So I
what
was
was
gonna
the color?
say, actually, I seen one yesterday go by the balcony and it was white out. And it
What
looked
do you like them? Cocaine spec like that?
like, I mean, it's fitting for Miami,
Oh,
you know?
it is
Like I was
very
like, it's very
Miami.
fitting for Miami, but like,
Yeah.
would I go do I'm again, I've only had black. Look at my color palette here. You know, I went in my closet and I was like, oh, this black matches this black. Like, you know, I've
Matches
only owned
denim.
black cars. So,
Yeah.
so,
I,
I don't know if I would really purchase one as my own, but it did look kind of cool, like cruising by. I was like, it caught my eye for sure.
right. I
So,
saw I saw a Rolls Royce. I think it was a either was it a Dawn or what? I'm trying to remember. Oh man, I always get my Rolls Royces all confused and whatnot. I think
mm,
which one's Wraith? Wraith is the
I think
two
so.
door baby, right? Because Ghost is the smaller one. Ghost is small with the
Don't
four
quote
door.
me because I don't know.
Yeah, I know Ghost
I'm in
is
the
the
same boat.
smaller Phantom,
Okay.
but so I can't remember. As I think it was a Wraith. This guy had a
Mm.
Wraith, and it was
Is
all
this a
white.
taller like looking like that sounds like such a dumb question. This one looked taller yesterday. I don't know why I wasn't up
If it's the
close to it.
taller one, if it's the
Mm.
taller one,
Like
it's
you know what I'm saying by taller, like it just it's
yeah,
just the
yeah,
bigger
yeah, yeah.
like
It's because it was a sedan, right?
yeah.
Yeah, the biggest one is the Phantom. So
Okay.
if it was
Then yeah,
actually
it was a Phantom that went
yeah,
by then because
fa- fa-
it was a
Phantom
big
is the
gap.
heavy hitter.
Okay. And
Phantom
that
is
was gorgeous.
yeah, yeah.
That was
I mean,
gorgeous. Wait,
I wonder if like Cullinan now becomes the real heavy hitter because it's the SUV. But
mhm.
like, I don't know. I mean, you still drop like half a mil.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
drop half a mil on a freaking Phantom, and you're goaded for life.
Mhm.
You know? Have you seen
Yeah.
Spectre? Or have you actually seen any pictures of the Spectre? Spectre is the new EV rolls. Oh
Okay.
my
Sorry, I was like,
lord.
no.
Sweet
Sorry.
baby Jesus, that thing is crazy
Really?
cool. Hmm.
Okay, I'll have to check it
I
out.
know
Yeah.
everybody gets mad at AVs and whatnot, but like if you've ever seen an
That one
EV
looks like,
Rolls Royce,
yeah.
we've hit the jackpot, ladies and gentlemen.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I seen like what was it? There's so many like the Tesla trucks are just popping up everywhere down here.
Yeah, I've
Speaking
seen
of
like
EV.
3 Cybertrucks out here. It's no
Uh,
comment.
uh, uh.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah. There was one tonight at that meet too, and I was like, why?
Really?
What are you? Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? Like,
That's
why?
very
Why are you
interesting.
here?
I mean, sure.
No, I
I
know,
like
but
it's just it's a weird place to go ahead and bring it for sure.
it
Every
was an
time
odd
that
one.
yeah, I mean, I've gone to 4 till 4 now a couple of different times, and there has been a
Hmm.
Cybertruck there, and the group that gathers around that truck is quite
Hmm.
massive, you
Hmm.
know?
That's
So
even yeah, that's like even tonight. It was like everybody couldn't get enough of it, and I'm like, really?
yeah,
Okay,
it's
teach their
tough.
own.
Yeah.
Each their own.
It's a little interesting. It's a little
Yeah.
interesting, but you know, again, oh, it's the thing about this Rolls is it still looks like a Rolls, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a Rolls, yes,
Hmm.
and so it makes you happy.
Okay.
And you know, I don't know. I happen to like it. I would like to go ahead and see a Spectre in person. It looks
Beautiful.
ginormous. Like it look. I think it might be bigger than my house, to be quite honest. Like it is a large vehicle.
He's like, you can live in it. It's that big.
Colby, that would be the
I have to
perfect
look it up.
turn and burn car.
Oh my gosh. I don't
No,
know
but
if EV
serious.
would last the distance though.
Oh, you're
Trying to
right.
find a charge outlet.
Oh my gosh, you're right. And then apparently it's like not efficient at all. Like the
Yeah.
range
Good
is
luck.
non existent. I think it's a six, I think it might be like 5,700 pounds.
Oh my god.
It's a very large and very
I'm sure it
large
looks
vehicle.
pretty and it might work great for like city.
Hmm.
But yeah, doing a distance like that, I don't unless there's like actual plugins, along the way. But going through
Yeah.
the Midwest, let me tell you, there ain't much out there.
There's not much out there. This is
There's
true.
not
And
much out there.
this is why if you're on a rally and you need the perfect support car, you go ahead and either get yourself a Kia Sedona minivan or
Mhm.
a Bentley Flying Spur Speed.
Mhm. 100%.
That's consumer advice right there from Jorge and Colby.
Mhm.
Literally.
Yeah,
That
don't oh gosh, no EV, no EV. Sorry
no
guys.
AV, no AV for Colby for a long
Yeah,
time.
no
No
EV
AV
for
for
Colby.
Papa Tarmac for a while either. Um, Colby, let's go ahead and call it right now because I know that you're like literally dying on me. But thanks for being such a champ. I appreciate you.
Yeah. like, I'm
It's
sorry,
all
I'm
good.
rubbing my eye.
It's okay. I mean, again, it's 12:30 on the East Coast, so it's
Mhm.
been a late one. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it on up here. Um, what should we be looking forward to other than those two shoots that you got coming up? Anything fun that
Um, Hopefully some new work opportunities on the horizon, which I
mhm.
would, you guys will see a post, if everything goes as well, which I believe it
Opera?
will be.
Yep.
So that will
We know
be,
nothing over here.
yeah, no, right. You don't know what's going on. Wink, wink.
No idea. Uh
I'll drop a post once, once I get the confirmation on everything moving forward.
mhm.
Car week, that's on the agenda. Um, Trying to think what else. If if everything goes well with everything that I just told you, then there will be a lot more content coming here soon, coming here shortly. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much on the horizon. I think I'm gonna hit velocity this year, possibly Audrine. But car week's kind of my big hitter, so I've just been kind of getting back into the routine and kind of, all right, what can I do? What do I feel like doing?
Right.
I'm trying not to overwhelm myself too much like I have been. We're California, that's another thing. They go, 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 go to all these events. Colby can't keep up with all these events. Colby's tired, guys.
Colby's just getting old, guys.
Colby's getting old, so.
Colby's getting old, you know.
But yeah, so on the horizon, there's those couple opportunities. So you guys will see once we get there. I'm, keeping the good juju going. So.
Awesome. I
Mhm.
can't wait. As always, I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Looking super,
Thank
super
you.
stoked for you.
Thank you,
Um,
homie.
I'm I would like to try and go out to car week this year. We'll see. I'm trying to
I hope you
figure
make it. I
I'm
hope you do.
I would love to. I really would. Just trying to find out how you pay for lodging is crazy.
Nuts.
Like,
It's nuts.
I don't know. Like honestly, if I could just sleep in my car, if I could just sleep in my car, I would be such a happy man.
I would see, you know what? I would even look into like an RV. I don't
Mm.
know. I've never rented one, so I couldn't tell you price point. I'm just like option, I'm like, here's an option. I don't
Listen,
know.
I'm a professional Amazon driver, so if I can drive an Amazon van, I can drive an
Oh
RV
yeah.
clearly.
Hmm.
Um, it's a
They
joke.
gotta have hookups and stuff out there, like somewhere out there. I don't know
I
how
don't
much.
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
If anything, I might just go ahead and just take one of the Amazon vans, and people could go ahead and just sleep in the van.
You know what? I'm sure there's
Seriously,
people that.
I'm sure they do. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out somehow,
Yeah.
some way.
No, I hope to see you out there. That's.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
you'll be one of the first few to go ahead and find that out as to whether or not I can go ahead and swing it and all that good stuff. And if not, then it's okay. There's always next year.
Okay. Always next
Um,
year.
exactly. But go ahead and and will we be seeing any type of rebrand for Imperial Street? I'm assuming that's in the works.
It's in the works. Again, this opportunity kind of, that's my main focus right now.
Sure.
Once that kind of, when I get more information on whether that's moving forward or not, that
Yeah.
will kind of play a hand here in the relaunch of Imperial Street. I am working on a couple designs, so I think it'll come back to life here. I hope I can pour more focus into it. Um, yeah, so we'll see. I think I'm gonna do more of like a with the pre-order. I kind of like that idea, just
Mhm.
so I can still keep everything we talked about before a little bit more personable and, you know, um, kind of just help it pop off a little bit more. So we'll see. Fingers
All
crossed.
right.
But we'll be reborn here soon.
Awesome. The page has not
Yeah.
gone dormant entirely.
Hmm.
What is not dormant is, of course, No Shoot Film, which you guys should all need to go ahead and follow and support and give your love to, of course. So go ahead and check out No Shoot Film on Instagram, and then of course you can go ahead and find Colby's main page at the Kolbe TheKolbae. 19 plus thousand followers. Let's go ahead and get this chick up to 20K for the love of God. Let's do it. I believe in you all. Colby has superior
Thank
content. It's awesome. So on
thank you.
both
Thank you.
pages, on both No Shoot Film as well as on Colby. So please go ahead and give those a follow and give your support. Support the people who support Tormenting Tarmac. We appreciate it
Hmm.
very much. Anything else, Colby, before we wrap it on up?
I think that's it. I'll let you guys know if I'm out to Arizona next week. So that's
which this will be 3.5 weeks after the time. So we'll
Yeah,
go back in
exactly.
time into
Go
the
back.
past to see whether or not Kolbi ever
Yeah,
made it to
right.
Arizona.
Just look at my pages, guys. You'll find it on
um,
there.
I hope you can
Did
make it
she?
out.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Did she ever
And
make it? We'll see.
to be continued. Dot 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 dot.
Right?
Yeah, it's like the '60s TV shows of like, will Jorge ever drop his podcast and buy the M2CS? Can Kolbi make it out to Arizona before ticket prices get too expensive? Will Johnny ever do the podcast? Find out in the next episode of Tormenting Tarmac, where
Dot,
the
dot,
enthusiast never dies.
right. Oh no, it's 100% like that. That's pretty much the life I live.
Literally, that's the life that I live too.
No,
Whether or not I have enough money to buy a BMW M2CS. That all being said, thanks so much for listening, guys. It's been such a treat. Kolbi, you're awesome. You know I got major love for you. I appreciate you doing the pod
thank
again, my
you.
friend. Always
Thank
great to
you. It's
see
very
you.
mutual.
Sending my love over to Johnny as well. And yeah, go ahead and check out Kolbi, and then you can go ahead and find us at Tormenting Tarmac on Instagram. Kolbi, I haven't actually said it on the pod yet, but everybody knows. But obviously, we hit 1,000 followers, and I'm super
Yeah,
stoked about that.
I know.
So
I'm so excited for you.
I'm
Congratulations, homie.
thank you, man. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate it. And this isn't to go ahead and pat myself on the back. This is more just to go ahead and say thanks to everybody. That
Mhm.
meant a lot. Like it was super cool. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to go ahead and put out cool content and all that
Absolutely.
good stuff. But just is very nice to go ahead and see people being incredibly supportive of the Instagram page, which therefore means you're supportive of the podcast, which is the most important thing. So appreciate it, and it made me very happy. And I may or may not have shed a couple of tears. So thanks for that. Really appreciate it. But if you want to go ahead and send it on over to a friend and tell them that they should follow Tormenting Tarmac, for the love of God, please do so. Again, you can find us at Tormenting Tarmac on Instagram, and you can go ahead and find this podcast streaming on most major platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, at Tormenting Tarmac. On behalf of Kolbi Napier, my name is Jorge Aquino, Papa Tarmac himself. You've been listening to Tormenting Tarmac, and it's the podcast where the enthusiast never dies. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.